So this is really appropriate to talk about. This is part 3, and we're going to talk about HIE and autism in our respective awareness months, and a little bit about the research and history of the NICHD within the National Institutes of Health in the United States. And we're going to talk about Rosemary Kennedy. And Rosemary Kennedy is part of the famed Kennedy family. She is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s aunt. And it's a pretty sad story, but it's a very interesting one. So Rosemary was born during the Spanish flu epidemic over 100 years ago. And because the doctors were overwhelmed taking care of sick and dying people, her mother's doctor was no exception. And her mom went into labor, and they called the doctor, and he said, I can't be there for another couple hours, because he was out working with families and patients that were impacted from the Spanish flu and other issues, and said, don't push. And so unfortunately, Rosemary went without oxygen and experienced HIE. She was born, probably some rebounding APGARs and things like that. That was deemed healthy. And so she went to develop what is likely autism. She developed behavioral issues and some slight intellectual differences. And her reported behavioral issues around the age of 18, which now we know that, she could have gotten more assistance for, they chose to perform a lobotomy, which caused serious life-altering, severe disabilities for her. And the Kennedys, I think, felt very guilty for this outcome. Her sister, Eunice, was the founder of Special Olympics, and also is what the NICHD branch is named after, as Eunice Kennedy Shriver. So when you go to the NICHD page, you're going to see that part of the big research that's funded through NICHD is in child health and human development. And so NICHD has actually been a driver and a funder of HIE research as well as autism research. And so they talk about improving early screening, diagnosis, interventions, and all of the progress that has been made through the investment of NICHD through NIH in autism. So NIH and NICHD actually funded the multi-center studies in the U.S. for therapeutic hypothermia, and why cooling is the standard of care for our kids to improve outcomes. And they have continued to fund studies. So they have expanded on originally from the long-term cooling studies, from 2005 to 2013, when it published long-term outcomes. They've also studied colder, longer, preemies that just came out recently. That's all been funded through the Neonatal Research Network. That's a part of NICHD. That's a part of NIH. So when we talk about NRN and the Neonatal Research Network, Hope for HIE actually is a part of the community engagement panel of the NRN. And so what I get to do as a part of that, as a representative of Hope for HIE, is elevate the unmet needs of our community, talk through how researchers can better design, better communicate studies, and the focus areas that they should move on to next for a wide range of things: prematurity, HIE, other issues that impact pregnancy and birth. So we have a direct seat and engagement with the Neonatal Research Network, NICHD, NIH. In 2015, when we first started HIE Awareness Month, again, very ironic that this is, our 10th year, my family and I were featured on the NICHD website, talking about our experience with HIE, talking about the evolution of Hope for HIE. And so there were a lot of things that we were able to share during 2015 when we reached out during Awareness Month, getting this published in July. So the Hope for HIE family experience has been a part of NICHD for the past 10 years. So the legacy of Rosemary and the Kennedy family is investing in research, investing in Special Olympics, investing in making the world a better place for children with disabilities to grow up and improve their quality of life. So when we hear comments from people one person in the Kennedy family that is currently leading the Health and Human Services and talking really, really negatively about children with disabilities, about the value of their lives. It is very concerning, and it is feels like a slap in the face to Rosemary Kennedy's legacy and Eunice Kennedy Shriver's legacy and the Kennedy family for significantly improving research for the NIH overall, which is at risk for getting cuts. We keep hearing from collaborators that we work with about their NIH applications being denied for things that like including the word maternal in their research applications, and it's kind of discouraging right now. So I think what my call to action is for our community is to dig in, see how you can advocate to protect research funding. We have so many people that are really close to really important breakthroughs that need funding, and the NIH has historically had this really amazing focus area on HIE, and is a huge reason why we have the advancement that we have, and we desperately need them to continue. So if you want to learn more about Rosemary Kennedy and her legacy, we have published a blog post about this on our website. You can also just Google for Rosemary Kennedy and HIE and some things will pop up. But hopefully this is helpful. And I think, again, it's very poignant during both HIE Awareness Month and Autism Acceptance Month, where, there's a lot of really concerning language and efforts to discredit the research that has been done, to stop funding important research. And so just want to share a little bit more context always about the history of HIE and the impact of research.